Bears Insider, rocking and rolling with us now. The one, the only, the great Adam Hoge. Adam, thanks for joining us.
Sorry, we went too long over it, I guess.
You, I mean, you just had guys coming in and out.
I know.
Very impressive. Whoa, hey.
Who are you talking to over there?
Eyes.
We had Matthew Berry just sit down right at the end of the show. I had no idea that was happening. And then it took me a second to realize, oh, yeah, he's a big Washington Commanders fan. They have the number 2 pick. Like, there's actually stuff we could be talking about here. So, that was all good.
Was he funny?
So, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
You always wonder.
Yeah.
You take guys like out of their element, you know?
Yeah. No.
It's usually kind of fun. Yeah. It's like when we take Todd to Vegas.
What do you mean?
Todd.
I'm great.
No, you're
It's my
settling
Vegas
in.
life.
Yeah, your Vegas life, yes.
Do you have any ice, Adam?
Do I have ice?
Yeah.
Right. No.
Like any bling?
Oh, no. You should have known this straight from my answer there. My confusion.
I would have answered the exact same way. Like, what are you talking about? So what's going to happen with the number 1 pick?
I think the overwhelming, if we're going to talk Vegas odds right now, has to be that the Bears will draft Caleb Williams when it's all said and done. I still think that's the most likely outcome. I don't think it's set in stone just because I don't think it's set in stone at the inside the Bears front office right now. They don't know what teams are going to offer yet. So why would you be locked in on one decision right now? And I do think this is a situation where the price may continue to get driven up. I think the hype around Caleb Williams is only going to build.
Yep.
I think we're already starting to see this, including the story I put out this morning. Like, a lot of these rumors and some of this drama that's been out there about Caleb Williams throughout the season, like, a lot of it is just so overblown and not really who he is. And so I feel like actually this will be a case of, while certainly things are going to pop up and people are going to try to tear him down like they always do with these draft prospects, like, I actually think the opposite is going to happen with Caleb, where, like, the closer and closer we get to the draft, the more it's going to become obvious that, like, he's the clear-cut number 1 guy in this draft. And the only thing that's going to get the Bears off of that is it's just some ridiculous deal that they can't turn down.
Yeah. What do you think it's going to cost? What's the deal you think?
Well, I think even what we're learning this week with Washington, like Bill Barnwell had a piece that came out last week, and it was like, and it was based more so on just like what the normal values of these picks would be. And like in his argument, there was like, you're not even going to get next year's first-round pick because you're only moving up 1 spot. But then the more and more this unique situation gets talked about, that might be the case in most years. But the reality is Washington's competing against, who knows, the Raiders moving all the way up or something like that. They might have to give up more than you normally would to just move up 1 spot. And so to me, even if you're moving back just 1 spot and you're giving up Caleb Williams if you're moving back. Like, he's going to go number 1.
Absolutely.
If the Bears don't take him, it's because they traded back and somebody else is taking him. So the price to give that up, even if you're moving up just 1 spot, has to be at least next year's first-round pick, in addition to the number 2 this year, and probably more than that. And then that gets into the whole conversation of, okay, does Caleb Williams and his dad, and does he really want to be in Washington compared to Chicago? Well, from all my reporting on this is Carl Williams just wants to put his son in the best position to have success and earn that second NFL contract. That's what it's all about. And so all he has to do is look at what happened last year with the Panthers. Well, do you want to put your kid in a situation where wherever he lands, that team's not going to have great draft capital for at least half, if not more, of your son's rookie contract? And maybe they have to give up a player and all that. Just like the Panthers had to give up DJ Moore, future first-round pick. All of a sudden, Bryce Young's in a situation. I still think Bryce Young's decent, but like he ended up in a terrible situation where he couldn't really have success as a rookie. And so you got to factor that into this conversation if we're going to talk about Caleb Williams demanding not to be in Chicago, because Chicago's the only team that can draft him. And, oh, by the way, draft another first-rounder 8 picks later. They're the only team that has that situation right now.
And so the Broncos say, we'll give you a 12th pick, give you next year's first, the first after that, this year's third-round pick, Pat Surtain in the last year of his rookie contract. Thoughts? Is that tempting?
I think I would say it's tempting, especially, but there's a couple problems in there. One is corner is the last position the Bears need right now. They're extremely deep there. They're young there. The only situation they would bring on Surtain would be as if they're just not going to franchise Jalen Johnson, but
Yeah.
Why would you not just franchise Jalen Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not really getting any value out of that part of that deal for that specific player.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock at Surtain. That's
Yeah,
just the
right.
Bears
It just
situation.
means that then you have to go move another corner.
Yeah,
and,
that's just the Bears specific situation. Then I don't find that to be a perfect match. And then the other thing is the Bears want to add a second-round pick. They have a gap where they have number 1 and they have number 9 right now, and then because they traded their second-rounder for Montez Sweat, their next pick isn't until in the 3rd round. So there's a huge gap there that they want to fill. They might be able to fill that ultimately by trading Justin Fields. Like that might be where they get that second-rounder back. But that would be my counter right away. Would be now you got to give up. And I don't know the Broncos' whole draft cap.
Yeah.
So do you guys not have a second
No,
round pick?
so this is sounding really bad.
Yeah.
Pats are 10, not a great fit. No second-round pick. Oof, this might be tricky.
The first rounders sound great, though.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Especially you just saw what the Bears did by getting a future first-round pick, and that turned into number 1 overall.
Yeah.
So, Adam, you just took the small hope that any Broncos fans had to get to number 1 and just blew it up.
Yeah.
But now there's Justin Fields. You said he might be available.
Absolutely.
What is he going to cost, realistically?
Well, a second-round pick that you don't have.
Damn.
No, I think the belief right now seems to be that the Bears should be able to get a second rounder for him.
Okay.
There's obviously enough talent there. And I do believe that he is a starting quarterback in the NFL. I think he's a guy you can win with. I just don't think that he's, with the limitations in the passing game and the fact that he's not going to ever throw with elite anticipation, and really just everything's for as fast and athletic as he is, everything in the passing game is so slow. It's frustrating sometimes to watch. Like his drop back is slow, and maybe some of that stuff can be coached out of him. I don't know why the Bears couldn't fix that more. And in fact, it actually seemed to slow down this year than in past years. It was very confusing, honestly, sometimes when you're watching the tape. But all that being said, like, he's just too damn I say this all the time. He is too damn talented to not be a starting quarterback in this league. He already is. Like, if the Bears choose to go that route and keep him with all the draft capital they're going to get, maybe they add another player like they did last year with DJ Moore, with their defense, like, they're going to be a competitive football team next year, even with Justin Fields as the starter. So I think ultimately that will result in a team being desperate enough to understand that Justin Fields, compared to maybe some of the other options that are out there, we all saw some of these quarterbacks that started this year. It's insane. I mean, Tim Boyle's getting 3 starts. Like, what's going on here? There's going to be some team that is going to settle on the fact that they don't have access to Caleb Williams. They don't have access to Drake May. I think in some ways Jaden Daniels is similar to Justin Fields, except he's a little bit skinnier, and that's one of Justin's strengths is how he can get out of tackles and extend plays. So there's a lot to like about Justin Fields. The Bears are just in this unique situation where I feel like most teams who have Justin Fields right now would just roll with Justin Fields, but the Bears are just in this weird spot where Caleb Williams is right there.
Yeah.
Like and it's created this odd thing in division in Chicago where all these Justin Fields fans are like so upset because they love him, and it's like it's okay to love him and understand that this is just a really unique spot the Bears have found themselves in.
Yeah, well, 100%. And sticking with Justin, one of the things that we kind of learned from Sean is he needs a quarterback that can win from the pocket first and foremost. Russell Wilson had 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. You would think every team would sign up for that, but Sean, that wasn't good enough, not because of the numbers, but because of the style of play. Is Justin Fields someone that can win first from the pocket, or is that just not a match?
That's another reason why. Look, I'd love to work out some CHGO DNVR trades here, but it doesn't feel like we're matching up well.
It doesn't.
I just, from what I know about Sean Payton, I don't think Justin is what he's looking for. I mean, in all those years he had Drew Brees, like, I don't know if I can think of a more opposite quarterback.
Yeah.
Than Drew Brees, and just how good Drew was always of knowing where to go the ball, how quickly he could get it there despite his height limitations, the ways in which he could, get the ball out to where it needed to go. Now Justin can move around and do that, and he can make some very special throws with how he can contort his body too. But I don't know that that's the best fit for what the Broncos, and more importantly what Sean Payton wants. Sean Payton wants Caleb Williams. I think we know that at this point. I just again, I think, unfortunately, he took a job and ended up in a spot where I just don't know that that's going to work out.
Exactly. Yeah. So, again, like, weird situation because you have the first overall pick. But if you didn't, what would the thought be with the fifth-year option with Justin Fields? Because that's kind of the other piece you trade for him. You have to make that decision right away.
Yeah, so, like, and that's where I've come to the conclusion I think the Bears should draft Caleb Williams.
Yep.
But with Drake May, I'm a little bit more
exactly.
I don't, and I like Drake May too, but I kind of draw the line there because when I look at Jaden Daniels, I think Jaden Daniels is going to go somewhere and kind of give that team. I think he can play right away because of how special he is. Mm-hmm. It's the same way Justin Fields could get on the field and kill you with his legs and move find ways to get the ball downfield and score enough points because he's just so talented. Mm-hmm. But to me, like, I don't know, if like just using that as the example, if you're the Bears, would you the only argument, I guess, to draft Jaden Daniels over Justin Fields right now would be the fact that you're resetting the rookie contract. Otherwise, I just feel like you're getting a skinnier version of the guy you already have. Mm-hmm. And I would just rather roll with the guy who's already been there. You know what his makeup is. Mm-hmm. And those are all some of the strengths with Justin Fields I should have brought up earlier. Like, this is a great teammate. Never causes any drama. Everybody in that building loves him. That's why it's sort of hard right now for the Bears. I mean, DJ Moore has come out and said, I want Justin Fields to be the quarterback, and that's something that they're going to have to navigate if they move on. Like, that locker room, it could be somewhat of an issue. So in that case, I would keep Justin. It's just this unique spot with Caleb. So to answer your question, like, I think in any other situation, my gut would be, no, just keep rolling with Justin, pick up the fifth-year option, and see if you can make this work.
Okay. Yeah. What's the thought about keeping Justin and drafting Caleb? Like, is that a possibility?
Well, the only reason why there's two reasons why I'm kind of against that, and one is the most important is what I just brought up. I think that locker room right now is too far into Justin Fields' corner.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That it would really create a toxic situation for a rookie quarterback. Because we all know how that plays out. Yep. The second Justin struggles or the Bears start 0-3 like they did last year, or technically it turned out to be 0-4 because of the Broncos game, the fans are going to start calling for Caleb anyway. But then the locker room is going to be in Justin's favor. And to me, it's much better to rip the Band-Aid off, preferably before the draft even comes, like in March. Trade Justin then. Yep. Then the locker room, by the time they even get in the building in April, because technically they arrive before the draft even happens, right? They start getting back together for OTAs and all that. Yep. At least they arrive there knowing that move's already been made. Yep. You got no choice but to move on at that point. You might not like it, but you're not going to create any toxicity within the locker room. I think that's the only way to make it work. Mm-hmm. In theory, I don't hate that idea of why not just have both and make it work out, but I just don't think it's going to put either guy in the best position to have success.
And I think that guys have allegiance for Fields. They know him. They know what he can do. But I think within a week, if Caleb Williams coming and showing out, the whole mood in the locker room would change for sure.
Yeah, the second they see him just take a quick snap, fire that ball to the outside the way he does with that little sidearm throw, and all of a sudden DJ Moore's got the ball like, oh, wow, that was a lot faster. Okay, I can make this work. Yeah.
Adam, this has been awesome insight. Doesn't sound like we're going to be breaking down a Broncos-Bears blockbuster trade anytime soon, but awesome insight. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for having me on, and really looking forward to this all week long. Should be a great week.